what's up? Welcome back on my channel. My name is Larissa and in today's video we're gonna talk about, finally, Napoli, or in English, Naples. Why I say finally is because I've filmed this and I've been to Napoli last November, so it's been some time. But ever since I started this channel I kept postponing editing this video because it's gonna be a very long one. Before I begin, I just want to say that Napoli was one of the best cities I've ever seen. I completely fell in love with it and I'm planning on going back very soon. But it's honestly, it has everything that you could wish for from a city break. So in case you're planning on going to Italy, you should definitely put this on your travel list. So how we're gonna do this now, on the screen you're gonna be able to see all the topics that I'm gonna mention in this video, so you can skip directly to the ones that you are interested in. However, as always, I would recommend to just watch the entire thing. Thank you so much for being here. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, it would help me so much, and let's just jump right into it. Some general information about Napoli. It is situated in the southern part of Italy, close to the Amalfi Coast, and it is well known for the Italian mafia, pizza, and the very well organized and quiet streets. No, I'm joking, not for that. Alright, first and most important thing on the list, what can we see in Napoli? We'll start off with, well, you've guessed it, cathedrals. First and most impressive one, in my humble opinion, is the Gesù Nuovo Cathedral. It was originally built in 1470, but later on it was confiscated, sold and rebuilt. The construction that you can admire now has been completed in 1750 and the architectural style is Baroque. From the outside it doesn't look spectacular at all, but going inside you will be shocked by how beautiful and large it is, quite overwhelming I might say. Next on the list is San Domenico Maggiore, which is located in a square with the same name, in the city center of Napoli. It was originally built in the 13th century, but throughout the years it suffered some massive alterations. From the outside it looks like a plain Gothic style building, but going inside it is breathtaking. So many gold ornaments, paintings, sculptures, high columns, it is so impressive. Next up, Santa Chiara, located also in the city center, just next to Gesù Nuovo. This one is very impressive from the outside, has a giant Gothic style structure, built in the 14th century. As almost all cathedrals, it suffered modifications through its history, but now the interior is also Gothic in style, so that's why personally I consider the other ones more spectacular. However, this one is a must as well. Also, you can enter all of them for free. Next up, castles. There are several castles in Napoli, but the best well-known one is Castel San Elmo. It is a medieval fortress located on a hill overlooking the city. The original construction is traced back to the 11th century. Inside it's not too spectacular, but the view from the top is worth going there for sure. You can see the beautiful architecture of the city, very typical for southern Italy, have a glimpse at the Mediterranean Sea and have a perfect view at the Vesuvio volcano, which is considered the most dangerous volcano in the world, being still active and in the vicinity of 3 million people. Also, if you look from the city to the castle, this is what you can see. There are two other castles that I've seen, but I'm not gonna get into too many details because the video is gonna be long enough anyways. However, they're worth mentioning for travel inspiration. They are Castel Nuovo and Castel del Ovo. One of them is free to enter, the last one, and Castel Nuovo you need to pay I think €8 or something similar. continuing the list of landmarks, here we have Palazzo Real, or the Royal Palace of Napoli, however you prefer to call it. The construction of the palace began in the 17th century and now it is open for tourists to visit. The entry price was approximately €5 and there are so many gorgeous rooms that you can see. Also, there are some gardens on the balconies which are open for tourists only with appointment and only during the weekend. By the outside looks of it, I think it's worth it to book. Next up we have Quartieri Spagnoli. This is the most popular area in the city. It is in the center, filled with shops, restaurants, bars and most importantly filled with life. The well-known narrow Napolitan streets with laundry hanging on most balconies, this is what I think about when I think of Napoli. The streets are busy, people are loud, random fish shops next to high-end gelato shops. It's the mixture of cultures, the history of the city and everything combined which represents the heart of Napoli. Done with landmarks, let's just jump right into the next one. What to eat in Napoli? I'll just say one word: pizza. For breakfast, lunch, dinner, as long as you can handle it, pizza all day long. That's for sure the answer to your question. Let me tell you a short story. Pizza was invented in Napoli, hence the popularity of it. It was originally considered the food for poor people because it was only basically some sort of bread with tomatoes. But in 1889, an Italian cook invented pizza margherita, which had mozzarella, tomatoes and basil, exactly the three colors of the Italian flag. This is hands down the best pizza I ever ate in my life and it's very hard to beat. I couldn't necessarily recommend a certain restaurant because everywhere I ate it, it was amazing. The best one to try is the original pizza margherita, and the best part of it, it's so cheap. I think you can buy it for €5 or €6, which is always a plus. In this food chapter, I also want to mention a tour that we booked, a food walking tour through Napoli. And as a general travel tip, try booking this type of tours in all the culinary rich cities that you visit in Europe, because it's definitely gonna be worth your money and time. This one we've booked through Airbnb Experiences, which is a great platform to find all these amazing things to do in different cities. It was €35 per person and it was approximately 3.5 hours. So what happened? We met with this guy and he took us through all the main attractions of Napoli. He was explaining all the history aspects of the buildings that we were passing by, and of course on the way we kept on stopping in different restaurants or food trucks, and we tried out all the typical Napoletan food, which is all great. We started with the authentic Italian food store where we had some appetizers.
Broccoli, but different flavor, you will see. Some olives and some dried San Marzano tomato. You know San Marzano tomato? San Marzano tomato is the only kind of tomato they use here for making pizza, the sauce you see on the pizza.
And we also went to a pizzeria. We went to a gelateria. We also went to a limoncello factory, which was very impressive. So honestly, I couldn't recommend this tour enough. It's something that you should definitely do when you are in Napoli. Last on the food list recommendations, it is a cafe called Grand Café Gambrinus. And oh boy, wasn't it grand. I've never felt more like a royalty in my life. It is situated next to the Royal Palace, of course, and despite its unbelievable expensive appearance, the prices are quite decent. It is a cafe, so you can just stop by for a cappuccino and a slice of cake, and for the time you spend there, you'll feel like a royalty, plus you get to take some very awesome pictures. Next on the list is accommodation, and there's only one thing that I need to mention here: get an Airbnb. I don't know if you're gonna believe me, I swear it's true, but we've paid 35 euros for 3 nights per person, and we stayed in an apartment just ours, so we didn't share it with anyone. It was 15 minutes walking from the city center, or if you're lazy, 2 metro stops. But it was honestly such a bargain. Next up, public transportation and airport. The airport was located approximately 20 minutes by car from the city, maybe even less. And the taxi from the airport to almost the city center, it was 20 euros. Normally I don't take taxis from the airports, but this time I landed at midnight, and the buses are not really reliable in the city, what I've noticed, so I just decided it's better to take a taxi at that hour. But for sure, if you land during the day, you can definitely try out the bus as well. Regarding public transportation, surprisingly the metro system was very modern and just great in general. I'm saying surprisingly because the south of Italy is known for many things, but infrastructure is not really one of them. However, here in Napoli, the metro stop was quite impressive. It was probably, there were some of the most beautiful metro stops that I've ever seen, and it also was very deep down built in the ground. For some stops, we even had to take 4 escalators to get to the actual stop. But within the city center, everything was of course walking distance. Last topic on the list is safety, and unfortunately this is something that comes to people's minds when they're thinking about booking a trip to Napoli. Of course, the Italian mafia is not gonna kidnap you from the streets, and you don't need to lock yourself in the hotel room after sunset. However, there is an aspect that you need to consider, which is pickpockets. However, I've never felt unsafe in this city. I also have a friend who has lived there for 6 months, and nothing bad ever happened to him. As long as you take all the obvious precautions methods, like don't walk around with your bag open, don't leave your things on the ground, or don't, I don't know, keep your phone or camera at the edge of the table when eating on a terrace, I think that you should be fine. Pickpockets, unfortunately, is a very big problem in many parts of Europe, so this safety aspect should definitely not make you not book a trip to this city. Alright, we're done, we made it. There is one more aspect that I wanted to talk about, but I'm gonna film a separate video just about that, and that's the day tour that we took from Napoli to the Amalfi Coast and Pompeii. Such a great experience. I'm gonna film a video about it, so make sure you subscribe to my channel to be the first to know. I truly hope that you found this information useful. Please consider booking your trip to this amazing city. It has everything you need from a city break. You have the architecture, the culture, the food, the history, the loud people, the noisy streets. It's just that authentic Italian vibe. You will definitely get it here in Napoli. And honestly, this vibe is very hard to beat if you were to compare it to many other European city breaks. Plus, everything is super cheap and affordable. Alright, thank you so much for watching this. I really hope that you enjoyed the video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. Subscribe to my channel. Anyways, take care for now, and I'll see you on my next trip.